Today we're going to show you how to access the different modules of Essential Skills and how to access the practice assessments. First, we hover over the Modules tab on the home page. If we click on Essential Skills Start Module, we will then be taken into the Essential Skills Learning Zone. There is also the Practice Your Skills section, which we will take a look at later. Once in the Essential Skills module, you have the option to navigate through each of the pages by clicking on the arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. This is the way that we would expect new users to work through the learning zone, as each page will need to be accessed in order and will contribute to the progress indicators found in My Record. If you have already accessed Essential Skills and would like to jump straight to a particular page within the module, we have two drop-down menus at the top of the page. The first of these drop-down menus can be used to easily navigate between the different sections of Essential Skills. The second of these drop-down menus can be used to easily navigate between the individual pages of the section that you are in. If we now go to the Injections module, we can see all of the different pages contained within this section. Within Essential Skills, you have the opportunity to access practice assessments. These formative assessments have 10 questions which are randomly chosen from a large bank of authentic medication dosage calculation problems and will test you on the full rubric of questions required for the Essential Skills module. These practice assessments can be taken as many times as needed by the user. To access the practice assessments, click on the Practice Your Skills option near the bottom of the menu. Once here, you will be given 4 options. The first of these is what type of assessment would you like to take? By clicking the drop-down box, we see that there are 2 options: Authentic Diagnostic Assessment or Authentic Assessment. If you are unsure what these options mean, you can click the question mark next to the drop-down box where you will be shown an explanation. The Authentic Diagnostic Assessment requires you to complete calculations on screen by extracting the correct numerical information from clinical objects and setting these up correctly in an equation. You will then be required to calculate the correct dose or rate to be administered, remembering to adopt the correct rounding rules and then correctly measure this in an appropriate administration vehicle, for example a syringe. The authentic assessment does not require you to complete calculations on screen. All calculations will be done off screen and then the user will correctly measure the dose or rate in an appropriate administration vehicle, for example a volumetric pump. We are going to choose Authentic Diagnostic Assessment. The next option is whether you wish to receive feedback after every question or at the end of the assessment. We are going to choose after every question. You then have to choose an area of practice for your assessment to be based on. You will need to select the area of practice most relevant to you. We will select Adult. Finally, choose a difficulty level of questions that you would like to be set in the assessment. The default setting for this is Mixed, but you can choose to practice any specific level of difficulty if you wish. Again, each of these options gives you the question mark symbol that will provide an explanation if required. Then click Start. To complete each question in this type of assessment, you will need to demonstrate 3 competence components. The first of these is conceptual competence. This is understanding the problem in context and setting up the equation correctly. The equation frames can be reorientated to suit your learning style as shown here. The next component is calculation competence. This is calculating the correct numerical value and dose or rate unit to be administered whilst taking into consideration the rounding rules shown on screen. To carry out this calculation, you have a calculator available in the top right-hand corner of the screen. All data entered into this calculator is recorded and can be viewed when you receive feedback for the question. Finally, technical measurement competence is accurately measuring the calculated answer in an appropriate measurement vehicle. In this case, you will need to select the most appropriate volumetric syringe and draw back the plunger until the correct volume to be administered is shown. Finally, to complete the question, click Next and you will be taken through to the feedback page. Here, you will be able to see if you have answered the question correctly. You can also see your answer and the expert solution. You can then directly compare your answer with the expert solution to see where you have gone wrong. As can be seen here, the expert solution will show the correct calculated answer and then, if needed, the correct rounded solution. The orange bar will show feedback of exactly what you have entered into the calculator. If you have got the calculation aspect of the question incorrect, it can be useful to check this feedback as you may have made an error while using the calculator. To go on to the next question, simply click Continue. If we return to the home page under the Modules tab, we have the option to navigate directly into the Practice Your Skills assessment without entering into the Essential Skills module. Click on Practice Your Skills Start module. At the top of the page you have two drop-down menus. The left-hand drop-down menu can be used to go directly to the Practice Your Skills in any of the modules that you have access to. The right-hand menu can be used to access any of the sections within that particular module. Once you have chosen the section that you would like to be assessed on, you are given all the same options as before. To view the feedback of any past Practice Your Skills assessments, click on the My Record tab at the top of the page. Once inside My Record, click on the Practice Your Skills section. You will then see a list of all Practice Your Skills assessments that you have previously sat. To access the feedback for any of these assessments, click on the assessments that you're interested in, then click on any of the questions to view the specific feedback for that question.
We hope you have found this video tutorial useful. Check out others in the series for explanations of other safeMedicate functions and features.